Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to JP Broadcasting, and welcome in to round 4 of the League Zero Super Formula Championship out at the Long Beach circuit here in California. I'm feeling the California love tonight in the concrete jungle, where drivers are going to have to survive and be a little bit tenacious and a little bit cautious to keep their cars off of the... Oh, wrong time for a cough. I'm sorry. They're going to have to be able to see. I'm choking up right now because it's going to be. Drivers don't want to get choked up. They don't want to get coffee. They don't want to try and put these cars in the wall because it is about survival and keeping yourself in check. And having a moment like that whilst you're on track around here in such high-paced cars that are built like paper mache, if you look at them wrong, they will break. It's going to be a very dangerous night for these drivers. But I'm Hamish, Munro, joined by Dean Biggles once again. Dean, big night of racing for these drivers in the concrete jungle of California, and it's going to be one where they're going to have to be patient. Lap one's going to be intense. Throughout the rest of the race is going to be intense, but lap one's going to be the most important because it's the highest risk you have of having a moment, especially down at the fountain. But we'll be seeing if people are going to be picking up flowers down there.
Oh yeah, exactly. I thought you were coughing on the old pollution that you used to have here in California, my friend, before they started cleaning it up a little bit, because you remember the heat, the smog haze that used to be over Los Angeles and stuff like that. But I tell you what, we do have a standings because we are, further into this championship, and currently at the moment, Noddy is the man on the top.
No, DBML leading the way. Felipe Sarkis P2 only it's claiming 11 points behind us because he's on 79 points at the front of the field. AJ Brenner P3 at the moment. He's only 3 points off of Sarkis in P2, 14 off the leader. Fabian Sanchez inside the top 4 with Jaden Callaway inside of the top 5 of the championship as well. Felipe, though, if he didn't have those 10 penalty points, he would only be a point behind the leader of the championship, Amel. So interesting how things can play out and how penalties can cost you, especially later in the season as well. Michael Briscoe, Adam Merchant, Shade Bruffett, and Delmar Leo and Dustin Smith, or Leo Delmar, I should say, make up the top 10. James Turnbull, Sharji Zerha, Jace Meyer, Ryan Tilbor, and KH Donahue for the 15. It's pretty closely contested. Only 61 points cover the top 15 of the championship here, Dean. So this is going to be a race, though, which can completely flip it on its head, because I almost feel Long Beach has a mind of its own. It decides its winner. It's very similar to Bathurst or to even Monaco as well. You've got to try and be as calculated and cautious as possible around here. If you can put a whole lap together, though, at a full push lap here, you feel like you are the king of the world. You feel like you're on top of the mountain. It is a track where it will reward you for being clean. If you can be clean and smooth and you can get on for a lap, then you can get in for one hell of a ride around this place. But the most important thing to remember is cold tyres or coldish tyres at the start of the race. The fact that all cars are going to be compounded together as well. It could lead to some strife through turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, up towards turn 4, and even down at turn 9 at the entry and towards the Formula D section of this circuit as well. So it's a track where track limits are not a thing, because it is surrounded by walls. The pit exit is one which is quite contentious for a lot of drivers, but we'll see if we have any dolphin diving down into the fountain tonight. I hope we don't, Dean. I hope we have some clean running through there.
Oh, we'll be flying over the dolphins, my friend, as the qualifying session is done and dusted, and that fake Ferris wheel there doesn't really exist. But we do have a grid this evening.
Yeah, so the starting grid for tonight's race will be as follows. Jaden Callaway will start pole position alongside Elliot Court for P2, Fabian Sanchez, Michael Briscoe for your top 4. In DBML, the championship leader starts at a P5 with Shade Bruffett in P6. Antonio Bianchi, Nick Pedersen, Leo Delmar, and Jace Meyer for your top 10. James Turnbull, Jared Ziegler on the 6th row with Larry Johnson, Sharji Zerha, Ryan Tilbor, Michael Fairchild, Robert Nobel, and Austin Thomas for the top 18. Arturo Mayorga, Gareth McAllister, Jacob Wilson, Brock Morris, Julian Mador, and Cameron Kill makes up the 24-car grid here tonight. So we've got a Formula 1 sized grid, Dean, around a track which previously has held Formula 1 Grand Prix. This weekend, of course, it will host the Grand Prix of Long Beach for IMSA, as well as IndyCar as well. So there is some open wheeler racing coming to this circuit across this next weekend. And I'm excited because I love Long Beach. This is my favorite street circuit on the iRacing service. It's one of my favorite in the world, and I love the test. I love when you can put a whole race together. I got my first iRacing win at this track back in Ferrari Challenge of Class D, so I'm looking forward to seeing how these drivers tackle it. But the asterisk or the overhanging elephant in the room is, are we going to get a pile up at the fountain? Because it's almost always guaranteed to happen, and if you're at the back of the field, you may work out in a better position than those at the front. But lights are going up for Long Beach. Callaway and Court on the front row. Who is going to survive the lap 1 carnage as we get off the line here in Long Beach? Sun is shining, and as the palm trees rumble as they come round towards turn 1, how much chaos, controversy and carnage are we going to get as they run through the first corner for the first time, trying to keep it clean? It is a scramble on this first lap. This is the big danger zone though at the start of the circuit, the fountain, as we run through. And I don't know how effective push to pass is going to be tonight, Dean. Possibly only down the main straight.
So far, so good, too, with everybody just squeezing past the fountain. I'm very, very impressed with the drivers. I think they realise, too, that you can make it or break it on lap 1 in its first couple of corners. And there it is. Well, exactly. Push to pass will be a question. You can see a couple of drivers are electing to use it at the moment. Jaden in the lead.
As we run up towards the Formula D section at the Firestone right-hander, push to pass really only going to be a factor down the back straight, and then also down the main straight here of this circuit too. So it could help you line up moves into the first corner, which is a great overtaking opportunity if you can get it pulled up under brakes. But they're going to have to be cautious as we run around to start lap 2. So this hairpin, this is going to be a section to worry about as well, Dean. Very easy to get cars piling up in there, and we could very easily get a jammed track. So they're going to have to be cautious. Oh, big scrape of the wall, though, from Callaway. He's taking some liberties, but I'm impressed. It's a very clean start to this race. I mean, when you come here, you know, you've always got to have some expectation that there could be carnage, and when there's not, well, I think that's pretty good too, because it means that we're going to be on for a good race, and it means that the drivers care more about their race than, well, care more about the race in general than their own race of trying to push forward too quickly.
Well, a bit of a damaged car at the moment. There's looks like had a hard lick into the fence, or the fence come out and bit them. That's what the driver might be very much saying. So far, that's probably the only incident I see. It didn't even come up in my report, believe it or not. But that is the situation. Unfortunate, too, for the number 57 driver in his home country. Probably parking that one at the moment for our Heat 1. But they're starting to get gaps forming already, believe it or not, just after lap 3.
I think this circuit is... It always comes down to how many personal mistakes you can make, or how many personal mistakes you can keep a hold of, because it is not likely that we, aside from lap 1 where you can see pile-ups into the fountain, it's not likely you're going to see a moment occur between two cars crashing together. It can happen because drivers can go for a move at the wrong time, but the majority of moments are from self-inflicted mistakes. And I would say for Ziegler, he's probably run it wide straight into the wall, which is exactly what he's done. Very easy to do. Clip that curb, which has shot the car out wide. It's one of the toughest corners on this track. In most cars, if you're in a touring car here or a GT car, you can ride that curb pretty well and get the car turned in, but with the open wheelers being so low to the ground, high downforce, they just don't want to turn in as you clip that those 3D curbs, and Nobles was very lucky not to back it into the wall there, Dean. But it's been a pretty good start, and I think these drivers, we have to give them their flowers. You have to give them the sentiment of this has been very, very clean, very impressive, and one name I've just noticed is not in the list tonight, Felipe Sarkis, P2 in the championship, not racing in Long Beach.
Well, if it's one race that you want to skip, it's Long Beach, I'd have to say, if you couldn't unfortunately make it, but that is what it is. Jaden Callaway, really loving this one. He's got a 1.5 second gap, just seeing fastest lap after fastest lap after fastest lap, and our championship leader that we're riding on board with, Noddy, currently in that P5. No changes in the top 5.
So I think it's interesting you say if you want to miss one race, it's probably Long Beach, but the counter argument to that is if you want to have a good race anywhere, it's Long Beach, because it's the circuit where drivers are most likely going to have a poor one. They're whether they're in the wall or they drop down the order. It's the highest risk circuit in terms of taking it as a drop round if that is within your rule set. So if you can have a good race here, that will pay massive dividends later in the season. And when you're in DBML's case with last week at Portland, where he got in the wars a little bit, especially early in the race with Callaway, then you want to try and maximize anything you can. The pressure's kind of on you now to perform at a circuit like this, and sometimes that pressure can make you crack and get into the wall. I have just seen Michael Fairchild has just jumped to pits as well. I think he may have hit the barriers, possibly at the last corner there, Dean. But at this point of the race, it's one where drivers have got to be cautious as he came through to the hairpin. What did he do?
That's interesting. He's got an alarm out of it, and yeah, and that's pretty easy to do. Of course, you get the power down. So much power in these cars, and that's all she wrote. You're sitting there at the moment with the damage,
and so car having to get fixed up. A couple of drivers didn't make the start. Brock Morris, Cameron Keel. It seems. So we've only got a 22-car grid here tonight with 4 cars already in pit lane. But Jaden Callaway is the best of the bunch at the moment at the front of the field. Elliot Court on the podium at this stage. Fabian Sanchez, this would be good points gained for him over Amel. Same for Callaway too. As Pedersen's getting a little bit into it there with Shade Bruffett. This is the battle inside of the top 10.
Yeah, quick replay of that one. See if they're going to do an overtake in there. So this is Peterson.
That's undoubtedly pretty ballsy place to go for a move, Dean. I think we can admit, this is not an over. Oh, yeah, he tapped the wall. Very easy to do. Classic spot to have it happen. Just turn it a little bit too early. One of the factors, because we didn't really get to see it during qualifying, you almost can take 2 approaches to that final corner. If you want to maximize your run down the straight, you run the very deep line through that corner to almost straight line it and give yourself a little run up. If you want to defend hard, but kind of limit your run, you want to run it tight as possible. But unfortunately for Nick, he got a little bit too tight through that corner and just clipped the wall. Very easy to do, and a mistake that I think a lot of drivers would have made over their time here at Long Beach.
Oh, it could be an overtaken opportunity. Side by side, Ferrari power. It's not powered by Ferrari, but Ferrari liveries at least on them with a Sauber and a Ferrari, and that is job done for Bianchi. But will Noddy, our championship leader, fight back at the moment? You can see a little bit of deployment on there and the push to pass, but not quite. So, championship leader struggling at the moment to make some gains. But I tell you what, the Italiano there of Bianchi, up 3, he's moving, shaking and baking.
Yeah, Bianchi, a very, very good move there. Took the time to take that inside run on Amel, used the push to pass to get the job done on him too. Wouldn't be surprised if Ndibe comes back at him now, puts the pressure on him through that final corner and then uses his push to pass to get back past him again. But I think Amel knows there's no point pushing too hard, especially in this race, being that you just want to try and maximize points. It's only 12 laps this race, then we've got the feature to come. So you just want to try and maximize your points at this track. You don't want to necessarily put yourself in a high pressure moment. Control the controllable, control your race. As Callaway is into pit lane, so Callaway's had to come in for whatever reason out of the lead. We shouldn't be seeing pit stops in this race. So something's obviously happened.
Yep, absolutely. Sanchez
whether
now
it's
on the back there of Elliott there. That's battle for P2. Yeah, there must have been a clip into the walls on that. I don't see anything just yet.
We saw him pushing the envelope of clipping the wall through turn 1. So whether that's now actually affected the car and put some damage on it, or it's a mechanical failure, I'm not sure. But the pressure's on for drivers now to really perform now. For Sanchez, as Johnson goes off the road and goes into the little burnout area, the escape road at the end of the main straight, and he'll now rejoin. For the likes of Amel, Bianchi, Callaway's teammate Sanchez and Court, it's now a good opportunity for them to gain some crucial points over Callaway as well, which they love to be able to do because that's just going to help them again in their championship battle. And to take this round as a drop round, yes, it's you get that lifeline if you can take it, but you don't want to. You don't want to take Long Beach as a drop. You want Long Beach to be maximum points for yourself because it means the pressure's slightly off for the rest of the season, especially with Long Beach so early on in the calendar.
Spoken like a true race winner around here, as you said in the past, which is definitely one of those trophies that you love to have. You conquered the America's Monaco, per se. I'd say it's the closest track to an American Monaco you're going to find.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, Belle Isle and Chicago. I mean, Chicago it's just like racing in an actual city, pretty much. It's square corners and very, very wide. This circuit's incredibly tight for the majority. I think Belle Isle is a little bit easier out of the three of them. It's probably the easiest circuit to tackle in terms of street circuits in the US, just based on the fact that it is fairly wide. There are overtaking opportunities, and if you can get into your groove and your rhythm, you normally end up pretty well. Where Long Beach, it bites hard. It's one line majority of the circuit. It's very, very tight through a lot of the corners, and it's just there's something special about it. And I know I'm probably on the less favorable side of the fence of that I love this circuit. I mean, it's within some of my favorites in the world, and I know that not everyone likes it. I know not everyone likes driving it, but I think whenever you come here, there's always something special about what you can get on the racetrack, no matter what cars are racing here, whether it's IndyCar, sports cars, even just open wheelers, or even touring cars in a sim. I think there's always something to offer at Long Beach, and you're always going to get something a little bit different at every race you see.
Absolutely. Jaden Callaway, you mentioned, just super fast at the start there. Just had all those fastest laps there, but unfortunately, definitely something that we didn't catch in the pictures, but did some damage on that number one car and has probably going to sit out the rest of this one with only a handful of laps to go right now. So it is unfortunate. Maybe pushing a little bit too hard. Had a lead, remember, of 1.5 seconds prior to that.
Yeah,
so you'd think he would kind of back off a little bit, wouldn't you, after you set, 3 or 4 consecutive fast laps after each other and then just pushed it too far. If you're not under massive attack, you just risked it for the biscuit, and unfortunately the walls come out and hit him. So,
and that's the as good as Jaden is, if you're leading a race here, that's not the mentality you want to necessarily bring. Yes, you want to try and keep your car at the front of the field, but you don't want to be driving at 100% if you've got a pretty good gap in behind you. But not just that. It's hard to pass here, Dean. You drivers have to really push to get overtakes done. Bianchi made it look easy on a Mel, but you can see how loose it can get through some of these corners. It's easy to defend. And this track is one of the easiest tracks to defend at because there is not many passing opportunities. There's probably all of about maybe 3 around the whole track. Probably turn 1, turn 5, and then turn 6 technically, and then the last corner is really your only opportunity to get overtakes done. And the last corner is hard because it's dependent on what line your opponent takes and if you can then get the run down the straight. So it's balance, and how well can you balance yourself as you ride on board with Miorga. I mean, this is, you sit in the cockpit of these cars and you can feel the pace, and just trying to get the thing pulled up at turn 1. Oh my God, how in the hell did he do that? Wow. I think he was lucky there. McAllister gave him all the room in the world to get that overtake done. If he didn't see him coming, that was going to be a wreck and a half at turn 1 there, Dean, because Mayorga sent it from about 2 suburbs back.
Late send exactly there, so apologies about the camera went behind the wall there. We are on the last lap of the race there, so Elliott in the lead on this one with a comfortable 2.6 second lead. Now we probably got to take a little bit of a measure there from his engineer saying Jaden was leading this race comfortably and made a mistake. So please, for the number 23, bring it home, score maximum points in our heat race, and that'll be nice going into the feature race. And he's got a bit of traffic to deal with at the moment. I don't think that traffic will be a problem. There it is, lets him through there. So Elliott on his way, just this corner right here, bingo, to secure
race 1. He's going to get it. He's going to get the win at Long Beach for race 1 this evening as Elliott caught Sanchez taking a bit of an easier run to the line. I think he realised there was not enough time to chase down Elliott. He wanted to solidify P2 on the points gain. Bianchi gets it on the podium with Ndibe Mel P4, Leo Del Mar inside of the top 5. That's a good points haul for him, being inside of the top 10 of the championship. Jace Meyer, Nick Pedersen, Shaji Zerha, Shade Bruffett, and Ryan Tilbor for your top 10. Larry Johnson, Robert Nobles, Austin Thomas, Arturo Mayorga, and Gareth McAllister were the last of the finishing drivers on the circuit, Dean, in this race. Everyone else finished in pit lane. And that's how easy it can bite, and that's how many more cars, or that's how many cars, you can get even in the 12 laps out of this race. I mean, if drivers out there have ever done officials here, you know how deadly it can be. League racing's no different. So that's probably one of the cleanest races. Is that thing crabbing? It is.
Well, it's also the team name. I love it. Turn 1 Tsunamis. Yeah, never seen that before. That's absolutely fantastic. That's Austin Thomas's machine, as we're seeing the JD entry of Vitoro as the last. Hey, I always say, my friend, that's a victory in itself, just finishing Long Beach, all right? So you pat yourself on the back, gentlemen, because you got half a field from 15th down, essentially. So from 16th down that didn't finish Heat 1.
Yeah, well, not just finishing Dean, but finishing on the lead lap is one of the toughest things this second. It's a short lap. It's one where the leader comes by very, very quickly, and then they will catch you very, very quickly. And, of course, with blue flag rules, you've got to make it not too hard for them, as there's the provisional results of race 1. Elliott Court takes the win over Fabian Sanchez and Antonio Bianchi for the top 3, and DBML, Leo Delmar for your top 5, Jace Meyer, Nick Pedersen, Saji Zerha, Shade Bruffett, Ryan Tilball for the top 10, Larry Johnson, Robert Nobels, Austin Thomas, Arturo Mayorga, Gareth McAllister, the last of the finishers. He was a lap down, the only lapped car to finish the race, with Jaden Callaway, Michael Briscoe, James Turnbull, Jacob Wilson, Michael Fairchild for the top 20 here this evening, with only 22 cars taking part in that race there, Dean. So only it was Julian Medor and Jared Ziegler for the initial non-finishers, the non-starters, Brock Morris, Cameron Keel at the back of the field. So with a little warm-up session now to come for these drivers, I mean, there's not much more warming up you can do, really. It's just survive the concrete barriers. And for the championship standings, if we look at the grand scheme of things, there was no AJ Brenner, there was no Felipe Sarkis, and there's no Adam Merchant tonight. So there's big gains for drivers. I mean, Callaway finishing further down the order, that's going to hurt him as well. I would say Leo Delmar is going to knock on the door of the top 5. Sanchez would be knocking on the door of P2 at the moment, with Sarkis out and Brenner being out as well. And then the likes of Michael Briscoe, Shade Bruffett could be moving their way up the order too. So it'll be interesting how this now materializes into next week for the next circuit on our calendar, because missing this round could be quite crucial for some drivers. I think Sebring next week is going to be a tough race in itself, but it's going to be one where it's going to be action-packed, and it's going to be keeping yourself out of trouble, namely at the curb of death. Tonight, it's the track of death. It's the walls. It's keep yourself out of the walls, keep yourself out of trouble. Because we've already seen, 7 drivers out of this race, very, very quickly out of this race, and out of the points tally comparatively to the top 15.
There you have it, exactly. As I'd be getting out there, getting some practice sessions at the moment while we're in a little 5-minute warm-up before our main feature race. There's only about 5 drivers out there. This is your chance at the moment to absolutely demolish and smash your car. They'll get it all patched up for you, ready for the race. So go for it, because you don't want to be doing it during the race. And g'day out there to Ridgeway Racing, Robert Ridgeway. It's good to see you. The notorious BIGGLES. Hey, I am, but I'm joined, of course, in the the man behind the microphone, Mr. Hamish. He's the man that not only knows how to call races, but he can actually drive them too. As you said, a race winner in the past here in Long Beach. What manufacturer? What car were you in when you won your race?
It was in the Ferrari 488 GT3 car, because it was it was the Ferrari Challenge before they brought out the 296. So fixed setup, started from pit lane, stayed out of trouble, pretty much just kept it off the wall and went 0x and won the race. So it was pretty much when I was racing for SR to get up the licenses, and took the win by sheer survival. And that's what you got to do. You got to try and survive this place. The more comfortable you get at surviving, the faster you get, because you're running a lot smoother and a lot cleaner. But it's tougher when you've got, say, 30 cars or 40 cars. It's pretty tough to keep it clean when there's so many. But when you're in the officials, and it's one of the toughest corners. You just, you carry a little bit too much speed. You don't get it in tight. You're going to run it out wide and into the tyre barrier. There's not many circuits I've taken a win at. This is one of them. Daytona's the other. I can't even remember what other circuits I've taken a win at too.
Yeah, I hope you won Bathurst, my friend, as an Australian.
No, I haven't. I don't
Oh,
think I have one Bathurst.
mate, Hamish, that's got to be on your bucket list. You have to get that done, all right?
Well, I've gotten a top 5 in the Bathurst 12 hour. I've gotten a top 5 in the Watkins Glen 6 hour. I've gotten a top 10 in the Daytona 24 hour before. I've won the Raw in top class, so I don't do that much racing anymore, though. That's the problem. I haven't raced.
Racing boots already, are you?
Well, no, I haven't. I haven't raced because I used to race nearly every day, and I haven't raced since I started broadcasting like every day because my rig got packed up. So it was, I just haven't had an opportunity to race. I do the odd special event here or there. I always do the Raw every year, and this year I'm planning to do the Watkins Glen 6 hour again to try and go for the win, and then do the Portimao 1,000 kilometers as well. So they're the ones that are on my planned list for this year. Starting grid though for race number 2, Leo Del Mar will start pole position ahead of NDBML, of course, reverse top 5 off the results of race number 1. So Del Mar and Amel will make up the front row. Antonio Bianchi, Fabian Sanchez be your top 4, with Elliot Court making up the reverse top 5. Rest of the field will start how they finished in race 1. Jace Meyer, Nick Pedersen, Shaji Zerha, Shade Bruffett, Ryan Tilwell for the top 10, Larry Johnson, Robert Nobles, Austin Thomas, Arturo Mayorga, Gareth McAllister, Jaden Callaway, the top 16, Michael Briscoe, James Turnbull, Jacob Wilson, Michael Fairchild, Julian Medore, and Jared Ziegler for the 22 cars. Morris and Keel, I doubt, are going to be starting race number 2. As lights are going to go up once again here for Long Beach.
Green flag.
And we are underway. Leading down towards turn number 1. Del Mar got a good start off the line, as did Amel, but it's massive carnage at the back of the field already. Big pile up on the main straight.
Yep, it's caution.
Cars are broken. Half the field almost involved in that. Absolutely massive.
Caution's out, and no, absolutely, it has to be, because look at this with three-way action right here, trying to squeeze in, we can't make it work, my friend, and that has caused a big wreck of about half the field.
Why are you going for 3 wide lap 1? Like you're, like, I mean, I know he had a great start, but to go into what is a closing gap on lap 1, you've just destroyed your race and about 4 other drivers' races in the span of about 100 meters. Like,
yeah, that's shades of Spa, isn't it, in Formula 1?
Yeah,
back in the day.
Yep. I mean, even
when Murray Walker's going, I can't believe I've never seen anything like this before in all my life.
they say nice and easy into Sander Vaught, please, whenever you line up on the grid of Monaco in the F1 games. Well, I think they need that in iRacing just for Long Beach. I mean, it's, I don't understand the thought process of trying to make it 3 wide on lap 1. It is a long race. You are in for the long haul of this race. Why are you trying to do it on lap 1? I mean, it's 38 laps, Dean. Why are you doing that on lap 1?
Yeah,
that's just, it's.
This Shade probably didn't even realise at the moment, did he? He's sitting there just.
He wouldn't have known. He wouldn't have known. He was there, and that's the issue. Like you're going for even just a slight lift, or just go to the left. You don't need to try and split 2 cars. You could have. There was no one on the other side of Shade's car. You could have gone to the left and just run around the outside.
So we'll give you a little bit of a rundown, of course, on our timing tower, as they're going to be behind the iRacing. Porsche is one of the drivers just trying to get temperature into the tyres there. So Leo Damas now, for the French driver, is into the lead of this race. Well, he was into the lead of this race going into the feature, of course, with the reverse grid. We'll pull up the timing tower, of course, with the positions gains and losses.
And the Ridgeway's just given us an all-time South Park reference in the chat. He's pizzaed when he should have French fried. Exactly right. He's tried to slow instead of trying to go fast, but instead he should have tried to slow it up. It was just, it's unfortunate, and can't be too critical. Everyone's made a similar mistake here before, but it's a circuit, Dean, that you've got to just, if you can't you know, a lot of people have said it before about other circuits, but if you can't be patient, lap one, and just hang back, they did it in race one. They were very, very good in race one. If you can't hold back and just be patient and wait on lap one, just don't start the race. Like, just why are you going? I know he had a great start, but that gap was always going to close. They're aiming to the right-hand side to make the corner. Why are you not going to the left where you know the gap's going to open because the car ahead of you is trying to make the corner? Like, why?
You're not going to win it on the first lap.
No, that's right.
The first corner of the race, exactly, and you can certainly lose it. And not only that, but I'm sure you're going to feel absolutely horrible that half the field's also massively been damaged as well.
I'm sure, and I'm sure he's sitting there thinking, "Why did I do that?" And I hope that he learns. I hope that Larry learns from that moment, for sure, because that's what makes us good racers, is learning from our mistakes. And it was just a poor judgment call from him. There was no malice involved. He didn't do it deliberately, but just a poor judgment call off the start of the race. So, you know, hopefully he learns from it and improves for his next run at this circuit, because that's, you know, and it takes learning, it takes experience, it takes time. Not everyone, you know, a lot of people will just avoid this circuit if it's in the officials, but I implore people to get experience here, because it is a track that you need track experience at, especially if it comes up in a league that you're racing. So, yeah, it's a shame, but that's racing. It happens. So, we'll see. We've got 14 cars left on the track. Zerha, Mayorga, Bruffett are all in pit lane. I doubt they're going to be rejoining the circuit. So 14 cars left for what will be 35 laps when we go green, I would say. Although the lights are still on the safety car, so we might be going one more. But yeah, how quickly the field can shrink.
I'm just trying to sort. I do apologise for the timing tower. We had, give or take, 21 drivers taking part of this race. It's only showing 17.
Some of them have disconnected, so it's probably hiding them.
Okie dokie, thank you.
Yeah, so Tilbor, Johnson, Callaway, Fairchild. Callaway was involved in that. This will be a drop round, I'm sure. And one where he now is on the back foot this season. Yeah, so Tilbor, Johnson, Callaway, Fairchild are all out of this race. Zerha, Melba, Bruffett all in pit lane, and I would say it would not be rejoining the circuit.
Well, this is
so
one that
you
said at the top of the hour, isn't it? It's just, one that it's great if you can survive it and get some crucial points out of it. It's also something that drivers are going to fear if they get involved in a big wreck, which is exactly what happened.
It's that moment on the main straight as the safety car comes in. We're going to get ready to go green once again. 35 laps to go. It's one of those moments where if you're racing here and you've qualified at the back, it may be the smart play just to start from pit lane as we're back under green once again. So Del Mar leads us round towards turn one as it's a scramble once again. So green flag running into turn one. Bianchi's taken the lead from Del Mar. Court's in there too. Amel and Sanchez inside of the top 5. Meyer, Pedersen, Nobles, Thomas, Ziegler the top 10. Ziegler was the big gainer out of all that there, Dean. He's up 12 spots from the back of the field and managed to somehow avoid the carnage on the main straight.
Very impressive, exactly. That's what it's about, isn't it? Just surviving. It's not the Netflix series about Formula One. This is the Formula series here on the JP Broadcast Network for League Zero, and that's what it is. As you can see, Bianchi now into the lead there as he got the overtake on Leo.
Yeah, he managed to get that done off the restart. Great restart procedure there for Antonio, but he's lost the rear.
Huge.
Into the fence, and that is, it's a shame. It's a self-inflicted moment for him. That's race done and dusted for Antonio Bianchi. From the front of the field, back to pit lane he goes. Sanchez is in.
Just too much of the loud paddle for sure, isn't it? Yep.
Yeah, he got loose off the curb, unsettled the car, onto the throttle, and round she goes. Very easy to do, especially in these cars. Incredibly easy to do. So Del Mar back in the lead, playing the smart game, just trying to keep his race clean. Court could be on for the double tonight if he makes some gains. Amel, crucially, is gaining points over his championship rivals. But if Del Mar can maximise, this will well and truly find him in the top 5 of the championship.
Just like that. Just like that. It seems to be a little bit of a curse around here in Long Beach, isn't it? Leading a race at the moment, and you end up with a mistake as Robert goes in.
Oh, and Del Mar!
And Del Mar.
Yep, both of them have been into the wall, and it's such a shame. How has this happened to Robert Nobles?
I think he's lost it on his own, perhaps because there's no. But yeah, ooh, that's on the exit, and
yeah, there's a bump. There's a bump right there on the track. So I think he's either upshifted at the wrong time and it's lit up the rears, or the thing's just gone round. And then this was Leo Del Mar into turn 9. Oh, sorry, turn 8.
Literally into.
Yeah, into it's, and it's so easy to do there. So easy to do. It's a corner that will claim victims so quickly, and it's you're just slightly off kilter with your entry, and that's what can cost you. So we've currently got 10 cars left.
I know, I said survival now, isn't it, mate? We have 33 laps to go and 10 cars left at this attrition rate. We're dropping a car a lap.
We're gonna be done. We're gonna be done with about 20 laps to go at this point. So it's but
I mean, we shouldn't laugh. Drivers put a lot of time and effort into it, but
no,
it is what it is.
That's right. It is what it is, isn't it? And it's all you can do is laugh. It's like there's nothing else we can do. It's the drivers just have unfortunately made mistakes. They've ended up in the wall, and if not for the start of the race where about 5 cars were taken out, we'd be in a different scenario. But that's racing, and that's what happens, and you can't control what happens in a race, especially from the comms booth. Oh,
we can throw the curse out every once in a while.
We can. As Julian Medore into pit lane now, so he comes in. Sanchez already pitted on lap 4, so he took an early stop in this race. Quarters now set the fast lap of the race, 106.45. So survivals now is even more crucial because, well, everyone's pretty much guaranteed for a top 10 of this race at this point. So unless drivers who are in pit lane are getting their cars fixed and they're able to return to circuit, but then the question is how many laps down do you go? And that's the real test for some of these drivers now. So Medore's in. Is he in still for a pit stop, or has he got damage?
Sitting in, not in the cockpit. No.
Yeah, not in the cockpit. So is that now 9 cars we have left? I mean,
it could potentially be, although I'd get out there because you can get some points as long as you complete a certain amount of race distance, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, why you waste that opportunity? Especially once again, you don't want to come down to the end of a championship going, kind of like what Formula One does sometimes, where there's only a couple of points separating some of the drivers for a championship, and then you go, oh, what if I just go and roll back and go, what if I just finished, even in Long Beach and grabbed a couple of points? I would have won the championship by now. So
this is one of those scenarios where we mentioned maximizing your race at Long Beach can maximize your championship. You see how many cars are now out of this race, and those who are still in it, if they can remain where they are in now for a great points haul comparatively to the rest of the field, and they've got less pressure on them for the rest of the season because it means that they've taken good points at this track. They can now have a poor race at a different time of the season, and if they don't, then they're in an even better position. Oh, okay, I've just seen why Medore had to come into pit lane. Did he make contact? I'm just double checking this now because I want to. It's quite an odd scenario for him to need to come in. No, he didn't make contact. That's weird. I don't know why, but he's still in pit lane, so he's decided to pull out. Also, Zerha is back out on track, so some of those drivers who did get into incidents have now returned to fields here, Dean, and are now traversing laps once again. So we have gained some more cars. Austin Thomas, Robert Nobles are back out there too. Although Thomas is now not out there, neither is Noble, so it's lying to me. It's counting down how far away Zerha is from those positions, that's why. So it's a tough case for some drivers. So Medore's in, fixing his car for whatever reason. Zerha's back out there now. So Zerha, who's outside the top 10, is now going to have to make up these laps that he's lost. He's only on lap 3, mind you, so he's got plenty of time that he has to make up. But a top 10's still on for him. He is going to be laps down on the top 9, but you take P10 any day, don't you?
Yep, I would absolutely grab any points you can out of Long Beach, my friend. It's, as I said, it's just a win in itself to finish the race. As Noddy just sets the fastest lap. He's still trying to claw in the Brit there of Elliott, but at this point he could just be chasing him down, filling his mirrors full of the red scarlet Ferrari-esque livery, and trying to force him into a mistake, which is easy to make around here. All Elliott can do is just be like a racehorse, put your blinkers on, don't look backwards, just look forwards. Do your own line. He was the race winner in Heat 1, so he's very much capable of bringing it home, keeping it out of the barriers. But at the moment, he's facing some massive pressure there from the championship leader.
If you're a D-Bay at this point of the race and there's 10 cars left, I wouldn't be pushing too hard. I would just be sitting back, saving some fuel behind Elliott, just run around, fill his mirrors, as you said, but we've got, still 28 laps to go when they cross the line. There's no point going for it right now. He's not running away from him.
See the rear end kick out then? Before,
yeah, and that's the kind of moment that can scare you as a driver. So I think for Ndibe at this moment, being the championship leader, he's gaining some good points over the rest of the field. He has got a 6-second gap back to the closest car behind him. That's Jace Meyer. He doesn't need to push too hard. He just needs to sit here, drive at about 90%, and just stay behind Elliott at this point of the race. You can attack him later. There's no point putting risk on your race, though, this early on.
Yeah, and that fence is coming out and coming a little bit closer each time too, so you might get a slight bit of damage to the car we won't necessarily see, but the driver can feel it. So once again, just bringing it home. But at the same time, you want to apply a little bit of pressure. You want to make sure that Elliott can still see you.
No, that's
and
right.
Remind you that you're there.
Yep. Don't let him run away. Don't do that. Don't let him run away. But don't hound him. Don't attack him. Just sit there and remind him that you're there. Because you don't want to put yourself in a risky position. He might make a mistake, and you've got nowhere to go if you're sitting right behind him. So sit about where he's sitting now, about 7 tenths, maybe up to 5 tenths. Remind him that you're there, but just race your race. Just cut down the lap times, get to your pit stop, and then put the focus on at the end of the race, putting the pressure on him if you would like to go for the win. I don't think it's worth going for the win at the moment. He's P2. He's getting good points. He's extending his championship lead at this point of this race. He doesn't
that's
need
like telling
the win.
Max Verstappen not to try to win a race every single time.
I know,
well.
I know. But in saying that, that's Max Verstappen. I mean, he's a whole different beast. And it's pretty rare for Max to make a mistake. I don't know how likely Ndibe is to make a mistake. So it's a balancing act, and I'm taking it from the point of view of how would an average racer like myself look at this and approach this? Well, I'm not going to attack him right now because I'm not going to win the race on the next lap if I pass him. I'm going to sit there, save tyres, save fuel, play the long game. It's a long race, and just try and survive and not hit the wall, because that's all I can control. I can only control what I'm going to do. I can't control what Elliott's going to do. And you've still got so much longer to go. You've still got so many more kilometers to tick off, so many more miles to tick off. It doesn't seem worth it at this stage to go for the lead. Maybe with 5 laps to go, it's fair enough. But at this point, I don't see the worth in it.
This battle between P3 and P4 is now bringing Zared Zanga into play there, just behind them. You can see in the 57 entrance, so that's the Mustard Seed Racing. As you'd have to say at the moment that Nick feels to be a little bit quicker, but you did say, and you can clearly see it on your screens, it's a little difficult to overtake around here, and I think Jace Meyer is very much aware of that one. And but it is bringing him in the clutches of Zared, which is a good idea anyway, because not only Nick has to look forward, he's also going to look backwards, and so that takes an extra level of concentration.
Well, not just that. We mentioned the usage of the push to pass earlier in the 2 spots you're going to be using it down the back straight and down the main straight. But there's also the counterpoint of, well, they're the 2 places where the other drivers are going to use it to defend against you too, so that cancels each other out. So this track, you don't really get the benefit of the push to pass unless you're going to save it, and you're going to, wait till the end of the race to do it. As Pedersen, outside line towards turn 1, Jace Meyer gives him room, gets the job done, has to do it hard way though, go the long way around. Now Pedersen up on the podium, and I must say, beautiful looking car. the almost forest green with the red and the orange. That thing is quite nice. I do like it.
Reminds me of Jaguar when Mark Webber used to race for the Jaguar racing team.
Yeah. Just missing the white, but
Yeah.
I do like it. It's a nice, classy look. It's almost, if you change the red to day glow, it's almost a bit like the Aston Martin livery, a little bit.
It's true. Very true.
Yeah.
Still no changes at the front at the moment, even though Noddy's still applying that pressure as much as possible by setting the fastest lap, just 2 on the last lap, 105, first person actually into the 105 club, 105.8. But these drivers have a comfortable 11-second lead over Mr. Nick, that's currently at the moment running in P3.
Yeah, so plenty of time for a Mel and Court at the front of the field, and D-Bay's, he's doing exactly what we were talking about, just sitting in that between 0.7 and 0.5 behind Elliott, running a nice race. They're extending the gap over those cars in behind. It's out to nearly 12 seconds, so they've got plenty of time to just cool the jets and run the nice, clean race. Sanchez is on the comeback train. He's actually the last running car in the field at the moment in P9. Everyone else is either in pit lane or they've disconnected from the race. But Sanchez is hot on the heels of McAllister. This is for P8 on the road. This will be a good points game for McAllister, actually, who currently sits at negative 15 points at the back of the championship after some penalties were applied to him. So he needs to get some good points. This is an opportunity for him to do so. Briscoe, who's been knocking on the door of the top 5 of the championship, has now just gotten the move done on Turnbull further up the road as Turnbull's into the wall. That's now 8 cars left on the road. But this is good for Briscoe because he was knocking on the door of that top 5 and he's now getting some good points as well in this championship. So I'll be interested to see how this is really shaking it up in terms of the overall standings. And it's so easy to do at turn 8. So easy.
Yeah. I don't like how the drivers immediately tow back to pit road as well too, because that is the scene of a crime. And you can see, it's a snap. He just snap. I don't know if it was a snap oversteer, but he just an indecision before you're heading into that tight hairpin corner, and you can't make an indecision. You've just got to just completely lift off. Otherwise, he kept it planted. See, there he goes. I think he realised, but way before the ball came out and hit him.
And the thing just wasn't turning. Just massive understeer straight into the tyre barrier. Very easy to do when you're on a push. And now for him, he's back in pit lane. For us, we've got 8 cars left on the lead lap of this race. And I know it's sad for the drivers because we obviously want to see them racing, but that's the problem. If you push too hard at this track, it bites.
22 laps to go.
Yeah, 22 laps to go. On the more lighthearted side of the coin, how many are we going to have actually finish this race, Dean, at this point, realistically?
Well, you see Gareth McAllister, the Australian driver at the moment, he's let a few drivers pass, so he just let Fabian before, didn't put up too much of a fight. I think he's realising that, hey, he doesn't want to risk it for the biscuit, he doesn't want to get into a tangle. He's realising at this point, hey, I've gained so many positions, 7 in fact, just by bringing home. Not the quickest man out there. He's doing 109s, 108s, 109s. The leaders at the front are doing 105s. But he might have a big smile on his face at this race attrition. He might, I could still have a podium here. Yeah, I don't need to go as quick as everybody else.
He is running at, 75, 80%. He's just out there for a nice, Sunday drive. Yeah. He is running his own race, doing what you do at this circuit. If you're off the pace of the leaders, and he's just trying to get home. He's just trying to get some good points on this, well, what is for him a Friday drive, for the other drivers a Thursday night drive. So he is pit stop for Ziegler. So Ziegler is in.
Oh, iRacing.
I'm interested to see
your cameras at pit stops are horrible. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where Sanchez ends up out of all this, because he came in on lap 4 and whether he can actually make the end of the race with that pit stop or not. I'm still not seeing anything on Madore's car that points out that he should have pitted, mind you. His car looks very clean sitting there in the pit lane as Ziegler exits. Briscoe's in too. So they've stopped pretty much on the halfway point of this race, lap 18, with only 1 lap away from the halfway zone.
That's right.
So Sanchez Sanchez gets Briscoe. He's also going to get Ziegler. It's a very long pit lane as well. So that's one thing to remember for these drivers, is actually how long and slow the pit lane at Long Beach is. It makes up 2/3 of the main straight of this circuit. So it's a slow pit lane and it's a long pit lane. So it's one where that has to come into your strategy call.
There he is. Just came out. Oh, he might come out ahead of the leaders here. No, he won't. He'll tuck him behind and allow Noddy to go to squeeze through. He can't cut the line there anyway, so that's back out there. In obviously, looks like he's P3 on track, but he is a lap down. So
yeah, these guys do need to pit though, so he'll get that lap back. And I've noticed as well, even though Ndebe is running very quick lap times over 105.7, he has lifted off a little bit just to not put too much pressure on Court, but whether that's with fuel saving or tyre saving at this point of the race too. So he's not pushing at 100% right now. I don't think Court is at the front necessarily, although he is, 0.2 off his best lap time. ML's pretty much matching his best at the moment. So I think for Court...
Here's a question for you. Let's say for Noddy, it's in P2. Let's say if he says maybe has a little bit of damage on the car. He's got a 14-second gap to Peterson now, depending on how that pit stop situation comes out. If it's still similar, would you elect to chip out some of that time for repairs, just so that you got the best race car under your...
That's if it's optionals. And sometimes if you don't take all of the optionals, the car can actually end up worse than what it is.
Right.
It's... At least that's what I've found. Sometimes it can feel a little bit more uncomfortable. I don't think he's got any damage at the moment. The issue would be is the optionals, I don't think, get done whilst your pit stop's happening. I think some of them do. So you got to remember, it's only an 8-second stop, so he's only going to cut out 8 seconds of optionals. If he had 16 total, he would still come out of pit lane with an 8-second gap over Pedersen, but it's tough if he is carrying damage. I don't think he is, mind you. They have now caught the back of McAllister, who's coming into pit lane to just avoid getting in their way. Again, playing the smart game, playing the smart race.
Pay attention out there, everybody else. Listen to the Australian.
But what it will mean is now for Gareth, he'll probably still come out of pit lane once these guys pit, still a lap down. But he won't care. He's still getting good points. He's still P8 on the road. He's still in a top 10 position. And that's all he's going to care about at the moment, is the fact that he's getting top 8 points through sheer attrition and keeping it clean. And that is the best mindset you can bring to Long Beach, especially at this point of the race where you've got, 17 laps to go when they cross the line and there's only 8 cars in it. You don't want to push too hard and cost yourself.
One thing to tell a race driver to do it's one thing to tell a race driver to do one thing, but they end up doing another.
Yeah. For them to actually do it is a completely different story. So it's up to them. Even off the race
championships.
start.
Gotta think
championships.
Not just. Don't think just this race, right?
Okay. I wish they were thinking about it at lap 1.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? And anybody that's just joined us at the moment, we're going to quickly go back and show you kind of what caused the carnage, which is the reason why half of this field is essentially not racing at the moment. There
was Larry Johnson. He went for a move. He got a great start, but unfortunately just a miscalculation and poor judgment call off the start line to go for a closing gap and try and make it 3 wide as the middle car. We spoke about it at length. Probably the better choice would have been either lift or try and go for the left-hand side where the gap was going to open as the trajectory of the corner was to the right. So it's unfortunate that a poor judgment call can lead to such carnage, but that's Long Beach, and that's what happens. Maybe he drank some of the California water. Maybe that was the issue. Made me a bit ill.
I was going to jump into that pool that's outside that building there. It's quite amazing, isn't it? How
probably be the cleanest water in LA, to be fair.
iRacing laser scan, of course, these tracks, but they've added a lot of elements in here. Like all the rest of it's been added, all the buildings and things like that. But they've added certain things that don't actually exist in real life as well, too, as much as iRacing likes to put certain detail into it, as Elliot's pushing some quick laps out there. 2 back-to-back fast laps, trying to get that gap over our championship leader, currently running in P2. Be jumping in that fountain at the end of the race, wouldn't you? Because you'd be all sweaty.
If it's water that's being brought to you by the city of Los Angeles, I wouldn't. Knowing how dirty the California water is.
Like LA tap water, mate?
No. There's a reason why people in LA buy bottled water. So I would, yeah, if it's water that's being provided by the city of LA, probably not. If it's somehow a different water source, then possibly. Or if it's
Thank you,
filtered.
everybody, for tuning in. Please like and subscribe and support the JPB Broadcast Network, of course, and the many, many leagues that we produce and broadcast to you. This is the League Zero Formula Series. We are in currently round 4 here at Long Beach. We've got, we'll show you that schedule, but as well too as Noddy's coming in.
Yeah, and DML Championship leader into pit lane, P2 on the road. You mentioned that lap time of Court. He had set the fast lap of the race 105.43. He's then matched the next lap with a 0.48, so he's right on the limit of lap time. He's the race leader. P2 into pit lane, though, for DBML. Pedersen has stayed out.
So
Takes
Joyce.
P2. Yep, Jace Myers out there too. Sanchez is nowhere near him, so he's not going to get ML's position. He may get on the podium, though, after pitting on lap 4, but is the... Oh, he should make it home, actually. His stop was pretty reasonably long, so he should be fine off of lap 4. But the question is, does he get higher up inside of the top 5, or does he just stay P5? That's going to be based on how much time the other drivers are going to lose in pit lane. Mel lost about 35 seconds, which is the average loss. So for Sanchez, he's going to be right there with Pedersen and Meyer when they exit pit lane.
I thought he'd had to respond. Yeah.
Yeah, Court's in. He has to respond. Doesn't want to let the undercut happen. Does Pedersen come in? Does Meyer come in? Let's see. It's a 35-second loss in pit lane. He has a 37-second lead over Mel. So Mel now has to push down the back straight in towards the FD section. So he's got to try and get this thing as fast as possible to the main straight. Court is now leaving pit lane, but remember, it's a longer pit road. It's going to be tight between them.
Yep.
Amel comes around the final hairpin, needs to get maximum push, maximum on the push to pass if he can. Here comes Court out of pit lane. He's got the lead of the race. There's Amel, and he's actually lost out in that pit stop. So he's cost himself a heap of time over Elliott Court. It's now over 2 seconds is the gap between Amel and Court at the front of the field. Meyer's exiting pit lane. Sanchez has gotten past him, so I'd argue Sanchez is going to be on the podium by the time Nick Pedersen comes through pit road.
I think Jared might get Jace here. Yes, if
has.
you can. Yep, absolutely. Yep.
So undercut's worked out well for them.
So, Nick still to go down to pit road, which may be right now. No, Nick still elects to go. Let's keep going, he says. So I'm feeling comfortable.
Let's go another one, you know, leading the race. Might not get another chance to. Maybe he's going long in the hopes that the other drivers are going to make a mistake. And
That's
he's just
true.
going to come out in the lead. Maybe that's the hope.
Yeah, we've already had a pace car after that massive wreck. I doubt you have one now, but still, it's easy for mistakes to be made, and all Nick can do.
Or Jared Ziegler has had a moment into the wall.
Uh-oh.
If you find where Jace Meyer has passed him, you'll see his damaged car. It is a bit cooked. I'm going to assume that was turn 8 that did it. Because that car is looking very broken, especially on the left-hand side. So yeah, if you find where Jason Meyer passes Jared Ziegler, that'll show us the moment, Dean, in the events thing. He's actually going to cut the pit entry as well to make sure he actually gets back to pit lane. Well, that's an interesting call. He's actually kept going. He hasn't come into pits. He cut the final corner and he's just kept going for another lap. So how's he done it and where's he done it? Oh, no, wasn't turn 5. And it's not going to be turn 6. It's going to have to be turn 8. Because that's the next right-hander. And he's kept going. He's actually going to have to tow.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and keep watching him just for a second here. We'll watch. This is a very interesting decision by him. He comes into pit lane. And he just comes straight back out again. He cut the last corner to enter pit lane. And then instead of actually going down pit lane, he's come out for another lap. So it's an interesting call to do this. I don't know why he's like, your car's broken. You might as well take the pit lane penalty of entering incorrectly, because he comes in via the Formula Drift entry, which is right here. And then instead of actually taking pit lane, he's just come out again and then not turning, and then he doesn't turn into pit entry. So what was the point?
Well, that's a good question.
Why have you gone another lap? Your car is broken.
Live pictures, and let's see where he is. There he is.
He's
still
still
going
out
out
there.
on track.
Oh my! He's back to where he was. He's back to where he was a lap ago, where the crash happened.
He's probably he's still actually, believe it or not, ahead of Gareth McAllister.
Yeah.
And now Gareth says
He's not about to be.
Yeah.
There he is.
Maybe.
Attrition pays all at this point.
There he is. It's finally going in.
Yeah. Now he's pulled it up and towing.
I can't even find him on the track at the moment. He's towed. Yeah.
What was the point? Unless he's trying to get to 75%. Maybe if that's a rule that they have to get to 75% race distance to get a point. I don't know.
So Nick must be running on vapors currently at the moment, isn't it? Because he's still out.
Yeah, he'd have to be. Although he's not given up too much time to court, to be fair. He's still at a 16-second gap. So he is going to lose out to Sanchez, who's only 30 seconds behind him. Is he going to... He won't lose out to Meyer. Meyer's too far back, so he's going to keep going. I suppose if you lead a race, Dean, you got to take it when you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's comfortable in it. Doesn't seem to be flooding too much of the walls, which is great. I'm surprised that we didn't have a single incident. I wanted to speak too quickly, but at the fountain at all. Fountain's been kind to the drivers here this evening.
It has. It's been pretty good. I think that's probably one of the spots where they've practiced a lot to keep it clean. The fountain only really catches drivers out when they're trying to make overtakes through there. When there's, too wide through that corner. The more difficult corners to actually get right is turn 8, where he's just come through, and up here at turn 10, and then in towards the final corner as well. It's like these are some of the harder corners, and then probably turn 1. So the fountain, even though it causes a lot of carnage, really only causes carnage when there's a pile up. It doesn't really happen when it's just a one driver scenario as comes into pit lane. So he'll give up his podium position. Sanchez, who's a world away from a melt, will still be P3 and will have podium points next to his name if he can make the end of this race. And now with 9 laps to go, or 9 laps to go, it's now about survival if you're at the front of the field, Dean. More so than it has ever been. It is about keeping your car on the straight and narrow, keeping it out of the concrete barriers, and making it to the checkered flag. That's what these drivers have got to do. And that's the pressure that's now being applied to them.
Yeah, there you go. So Sanchez scoots by, but he shouldn't have a problem getting out ahead of this man.
No, he should well and truly be ahead. Yeah.
Well, this could be fantastic, obviously, for the driver from the UK, the number 23, in the lead there by, you can see, about just shy of 2 seconds, because he's Heat 1 winner and looking to go back-to-back here. Maximum points.
Yeah, he is.
And I think got the fastest lap as well currently at the moment too. So that's the trifecta on the way here for the Rabbit Racing entry.
He didn't have pole in race 1, though.
No,
that's the only thing that he didn't have. He didn't
Won't
have
get
the pole, so...
factor.
No.
But then again...
In the chat from Shade, some of us didn't even make it to the fountain. Yeah, we know. We broke that down pretty heavily, Shade. It's unfortunate that someone decided to make it 3
Shade,
wide up the inside.
We're gonna go back and show you.
Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look at it.
Start just.
And as we broke it down as well, I mean, Shade would not have known he was there. I mean, there it is. That's the moment. He wouldn't have even known.
No, Shade, you needed to drive and rear chase camera, and then you'd be able to see the driver.
Yeah, then you'd be able to see.
Inside. Bang.
Yeah, where he's trying to bridge a gap that was always going to close.
You're okay, lucky for the halo too, isn't it? Okay, with a slam straight into your helmet.
Yeah, it's just, it is unfortunate. It is very unfortunate that a moment like that can happen, but that is Long Beach, and that's the kind of risk that you play. 5 drivers left on the lead lap of this race. Everyone is pit, so everyone can now get home. And for the likes of Jace Meyer, Nick Pedersen, Fabian Sanchez, and DBAML and Elliot Court, you look to get a positive result here by getting inside of the top 5. For Michael Briscoe, he should find himself in the top 5 of the championship by the end of this race. Gareth McAllister is going to get some crucial points after coming into this race on negative 15 after Portland. So this is going to be a great night on the road for them.
I think
the chase is on
here. I think Noddy's actually just saving a little bit here late in this race. He's taken about 7/10 out of Elliott here in the last couple of laps since the pit stop. So he's going, all right, Long Beach win here. I mean, Long Beach for one, just finish is a great thing, but not for this man. He's like, okay, I'm leading the championship. I want maximum points here. He doesn't want to see Elliott win 2 races in a row, so it's on.
Well, remember I said just hold back, wait till about 5 or so laps to go, and then that's when you make your push. That's exactly what he's doing right now. He's waited for this moment to, really put the pressure on Court, just control his race and go for that final push. So, he's smart. He knew that he was never going to win the race, going for the overtake and risking his whole race, 20 laps ago. He's waited for this moment to really put the pressure on him and remind him that, hey, I'm here. I'm going to go for it. Don't make a mistake, pretty much. And for Elliott, he'll be thinking about that. He'll be thinking, don't make a mistake. Don't make a mistake. Just keep the car here. You can defend this. And eventually it can overtake you and overrule you, and you make a mistake and you end up in the wall. And that's one of the things now that he's got to contest with. He's not only got to defend on his mind, he's also got to defend on Amel, who's hot on his heels at the moment as they come in towards turn 8.
Oh, there you go. Energy deployment. Push to pass.
He wants it. He wants the lead. He wants to get this job done over Elliott.
Look at the time he's got left too. 166 seconds at least.
Yeah, he has saved this for the final push to the end. And you have to think, has Elliott used all of his up? Has he used every little bit?
Elliott's using it in defense, which is clever. Yep, same thing.
Yep. So they both saved just for this moment. He knew that ML was going to wait for the final push to the end with 5 laps to go. And now it becomes a race of how well can you defend and how well can you keep yourself centered. Little touch of the wall there from Court. It's going to keep himself in check, but he needs to keep this thing off the wall.
They both do at this point.
It is as intense as it gets at Long Beach. This sort of battle is what you wait for. It's what you hope for. You hang around for the whole thing just to see this race to the end. And for Amel, he needs to go full push to try and get this win. For Elliott, he wants to do the double here tonight and be the king of the streets of Long Beach. The king of California, if you will. And get himself a wondrous set of wins in this championship. So we run around the final corner. Amel wants to run, but that tight line has cost him. Remember we spoke about it earlier, Dean. The deep run, or the deep line, gets you a slower run through the corner, but a better run down the straight. The tight line gets you the better overtaking opportunity. Outside line, though, for Amel into turn 1. Caught on the inside. They're going to do it too wide. Oh, my God. I thought he was going into the wall.
How did he manage that? That's absolutely risking it for the absolute biscuit here. You're guaranteed some good points just to finish this race, but not between Amel. He says, I want a race win, and that's first tack. That's being held off by Elliott. How many more can Elliott survive?
Well, all he's got to do is just hold those lines, hold those inside lines, make Amel go the long way around. It is so hard to get the pass done on those outside lines. We saw how close Amel was to that wall. He had to lift. He had to back off. He couldn't push because Elliott was going to run him all the way out to the wall and say, hey, you want it? Well, you're going to have to go through some concrete to get it. So as we come through the final corner, I think for Ndibe at the moment, he can't get it done down the inside. Might be worth attempting the deep line to get the faster run down the straight to try and get the job done before turn 1.
There you go. Overtaking opportunities on both. Both of them are using it. A little bit defensive there. Smart play there.
He wants the over-under. He wants the over-under. He couldn't quite get it, though, as we run in towards the fountain. So it's maximum pressure. Is it going to create a diamond, or is it going to come shattering away like a glass window? Oh, a little bit of a wiggle from Court. Amel's going to take it. It's contact! And they're both gone! Both the leaders out of the race!
Wow. That
And for Fabian
is
Sanchez,
huge.
he has got one of the biggest lifelines I think we've ever seen. Top 2 in the race are gone. And Court will be swearing as much as a sailor would. Yep, exactly.
Oh, no.
Exactly.
What can you say about that?
Oh, it is just... I don't want to say it's impatience because he took the move. He took the overtaking opportunity. There was the wiggle. He saw the opportunity, but unfortunately the car just didn't get pulled up. So I respect it. He went for the move, but unfortunately it just didn't work out because he caught the curb. It's straight lined his car. Contact is made, and it's all over Red Rover. And they're both out of this race. It's unfortunate. What a battle we had, though, for a couple of laps there, Dean. I think for Ndibe, maybe playing the little smarter game of trying to go for a little higher percentile move. He took it at the... He wasn't fully committed because he did it at the very last moment. And it's because he ran over the curb. You'll see the curb hop. There it is there. That's what straight lined the car.
Yeah.
And it's always going to dart to the outside of the circuit. We saw drivers do it on their own in this race, not even making contact with another car. So what this now puts us to is 5 cars are left in this race with 2.5 laps to go. Sanchez leads, so he's going to get great points. Pedersen P2, Meyer P3, Briscoe, and then Gareth McAllister, through their sheer survival, through keeping his car clean and racing his own race, is inside the top 5, a lap down the leader.
Watch this as well, too. Absolutely. All right. He hits the chicane as well, so they kind of both make a mistake. A mistake from Elliott.
That's what wiggles him. Yep.
And so he just manages to keep it out, but then he gets slammed, as you saw there, from Noddy. And then, wow, you're just going to see that car go absolutely airborne.
White flag for the leader as well, who's just crossed the line. So 1 lap to go for Fabian Sanchez, the first of the pit stoppers who came in on lap 4. Has run a long, consistent race, stayed out of the battles, kept the car out of the wall. And with his teammate Felipe Sarkis not taking part tonight, he is the sole flag bearer for this team. What could have been for Elliott Court, what could have been for a DBML, all comes up in flames and comes up in a destructive nuclear end at turn 5. And for Sanchez, well, he wants to find himself on the top step of the podium here this evening.
Just uses the last bit of push to pass there. He fingers, why not? I'm not going to return it.
Nope. There's no point having it there at the end of the race. You might as well use it up. As he comes through to the final corner for the final time this evening at Long Beach. 22 cars started. 5 cars are going to finish. And they're going to be led across the line by Fabian Sanchez at the front of the field in the feature race. Nick Pedersen, 14 seconds back, is going to come home in an incredible P2 on the road for himself. Jace Meyer, then a further 24 seconds back, looks to come home in P3. The important thing is he's guaranteed P3 because McAllister is a lap down. Briscoe is a lap down. He's already finished.
Solid
so Jace Meyer.
Hey, I love it. I mean, he just says, thank you very much. I'll take P5.
Yep. And take the points. Take the top 5. Incredible effort.
Clever play, seeking the maximum points exactly where.
So clever. Jace Meyer takes P3. And that's it. They're the 5 drivers we had at the end of the race. Wow. What can come from?
Well, I think we were expecting a little bit of Long Beach carnage as to be expected, but I didn't expect it to be that late between those two going for it tooth and nail. We had the big accident at the start, of course, and Fabian will go down there and be celebrating. He'll be absolutely soaking in champagne going, I didn't even think I was going to get this race win, but hey, that's Long Beach. It's unpredictable.
It is unpredictable, and I'm going to argue right now that is the most chaotic league race I've ever seen at this track. And that's through league races where I've seen a car kill 3 cars in a safety car train. I mean, and others where the safety car's been parked at the blue cone and drivers have plowed into the safety car. I mean, that is incredible. It's a great race, and Fabian Sanchez takes advantage. He takes the win. 3 cars finished on the lead lap, with Nick Pedersen and Jace Meyer following him there to the podium. Michael Briscoe, Gareth McAllister, the last of the finishers of this race. Everyone else finished in pit lane, including in DBML. And Elliot Court, you've got a feel for Court there to end up back in P7 in the pit lane. We also had Jared Ziegler, James Turnbull, Julian Madore for the top 10, Leo Del Mar, Saji Zerha, Austin Thomas, Antonio Bianchi, Robert Nobles for the top 15, Arturo Mayorga, Shade Bruffett, Ryan Tilball, Larry Johnson, Jaden Callaway, Michael Fairchild were the starters, and they didn't get any further away than 100 metres on the Long Beach circuit. Jacob Wilson, Brock Morris, Cameron Kill didn't start this race, so it was a good win there for Fabian Sanchez. It's a good podium for Pedersen and Meyer, and how this is going to shake up the championship order of things, I have got no idea for that one, Dean. We'll have to wait for the mathematicians to do it in the back end, and we'll see where it sits when we head out to Sebring next week for the next round of this series.
And just to recap on the Heat 1 as well too, Elliot
Elliot
could have
Court.
been a back-to-back. He's still there as well too. But how about for Fabian Sanchez, isn't it? So he gets P2
Round
in
winner.
race 1 and gets P1 in race 2.
Yeah, round winner. Takes most points over anyone. Crucially, takes points over a Melt at the championship lead. Bianchi didn't really make up for it after his effort in race 1 as well, so it's unfortunate for him. But for the feature and for Fabian Sanchez, he takes the round win, which at Long Beach, all you can ask for really, just a win and then a round win after a double podium. It's a solid effort. So, but it's been a great night on the road for us here tonight, Dean. A great race once again here at Long Beach. We'll be back next week, April 17, for Sebring International Circuit in an 8-lap sprint and a 24-lap feature for round number 5. That'll be the halfway point of the season once we finish that one. Then we'll be heading out to Monza the week after with Phillip Island for May 1st, the Nürburgring Grand Prix Strecker Circuit for the May 8th, Autodromo Internacional Enzo Edina Ferrari, Imola for round 9 at May 15, and then we ended all at the Circuit of the Americas for round 10 on May 22nd. Thank you so much, though, for joining us here for the Inca Salsa Formula Series brought to you by League Zero here on JP Broadcasting. Be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing here on JP Broadcasting with a multitude of leagues from all around the world. You'll be sure to get something for you out of this channel with a complete world tour of many different racing categories. There's so much on offer for the rest of April and for the rest of 2025 as well, so you don't want to miss any of the action. But I'm Hamish Munro with Dean Biggles alongside here for round 4 of the League Zero Formula Series out at Long Beach Street Circuit. See you guys next week for Sebring. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.